So I'll spend this episode talking about how to flip the right eye or her left eye, which is completely set up as, let's double check. It follows the face to move. It has the blinking all set up. Okay. And now once we've done that, assuming, well, I actually did the right side a little bit, but assuming we didn't, and I just want to copy this over, along with all the objects, along with all the perimeters all set up. I just want to flip it over. Now there's no one button that does everything, so it might take a few steps, but here they are, okay? So let me double check. The blinking. I think I'll do one more thing before I move on, because you don't want to flip it over and then continue working on one side, which then wouldn't apply to the left side, because this is in Maya or Blender that mirrors everything, right? So it really just copy and paste. So instead of saving workload, I want to finalize my eye before I move on to the next side. And here I think I messed up the eye mask, did I? Oh, I doubled eye. Okay, I think I know what happened. Yeah, that is. Do I want this? No, I don't. Okay, I'm gonna take away this eye white. And I'll take the meant to be mask to be my real eye white. Because I like the shadow following as it closes her eyes. Some people don't. Some art style don't work like that. But in my case, I feel like, yeah, I want the shadow to slide down as the eye blinks. So I'll keep that. If not, then I'll have to duplicate the eye white layer. One is the mask, and all it does is reshape in invisible mode. However, everything is masked to it, is clipped to it. And I think I mentioned this episode already, so I'm not going to talk too much about it. Let's get into fixing a little bit more. I want, when my eye blinks, the eye white piece to move down a little bit. Actually, I work with my iris, my pupil first. I want it to squint a little bit as I close down. Now, first thing I need is to set up the eye open at 3 points. Actually, I'll do 2 points first, and then I'll fix the middle point. So when it's closed, when it's fully closed, I believe the iris is about this and about this. Now I'm holding down the Alt button because it now then if I stretch this, it would anchor to the center instead of sliding all the way to one side and this side is stay the same, because I want to make sure my iris centered at the original spot, or else it would move to the right side and then move to the left side and she would look kind of like a split eye, or cross eye. So now you can see, because I reshaped it, even though it's covered, because I reshaped it, as it moved down it would morph into that shape, which would give a little squinting effect. And do I need a midpoint? Maybe I don't. Maybe I just need open and close. I don't need to set a midpoint. Sometimes I do, because for some projects, maybe your eyelash at this point in the midpoint, it's too low. It's lower than the dark dot in the center, which makes her look like she scrolled her eye up. And if you cannot see her center iris, the dark dot, then certainly her eyes are not looking at you. She is looking through her eyelid, so it's not that, that's sort of scientific. Anyhow, so we have got the squinting going on, and now we need the highlights to move along. So again, I'll set up 2 points, and as it scrolls down. I think about this is where the lowest it would go, so I would move this down. I'm just gonna try, you know. If it's too low, I'm gonna move it back up a little bit, but so this is half open and it's almost closed. Let me scroll out, zoom out, and see how it goes. I feel like it should move slightly towards the left side, or even, you know what? Even I'll yeah, I will flatten it a little bit, stretch it a little bit horizontally. That's going on. Maybe slightly towards this side. Yeah, maybe I have to move the whole thing over. This and like this. Not sure if I like the stretching right there. Is it okay? Maybe I'll move it a little bit lower. And that seems good. So now this, the other white dot, which is, now again, I've trouble selecting the white dot over here. Maybe because it's locked, so no matter how I click it, it's not going to be clickable. What I can do is right click and I'll go here. It's still locked, so I have to go here, which is highlighted for me already, and I just unlocked this object. Now I can select it. What I want it to do is that as the eye closes, I need it to move down a little bit and maybe stretch a little bit horizontally. There and there. Maybe a little bit lower. That seems okay. Even if it's half open, it seems like it's a good spot. If, say, like, you got the end point and the first point worked out, but the middle point seems like you want a different spot. Because currently this is only taking the midpoint between this and this in a linear manner. So you can manually change the location for this spot. Say like at this point, I want it to be slightly above before it drops down. So from here to here, it's a little bit movement vertically, but from here to here, it would suddenly drop faster. And I can leave it that way. Okay, so now let's flip things over from the right side to the left side. Copy everything over, alright? Now it's gonna be a little bit sticky, and even for myself, I've only done this only a few times. I'm not sure I can do this in one go. What needs to be done is that you need to, what Live2D 2.1 allows you is that you can copy and paste deformer, and it would copy over all the drawable objects, all the deformers underneath the hierarchy, underneath it, and also the parameters that has been set up for those objects. Okay, so let's figure out what is the parents deformer that I have to go for. Because currently I have two right here. One is the iris deformer L, one is the left eye deformer. Now let's confirm what they do and what they carry. So when I select the iris deformer, I can see that eyeball X and Y are highlighted in green, which means that this is the parameter that is currently active. So that suggests the function of it, because if this deformer has these parameters switched on, and these would move the eye around, then it's almost guessable all the time that this deformer, what it does, it basically moves everything within the content, all its content and child objects. So we can also look at the deformer palette, and we can see we're currently selecting the iris deformer L, and underneath this branch there's eye highlight 1, eye highlight 2, and iris. So you can also check here. Now obviously we can check what's above it, which is the left eye deformer, and Left eye deformer currently has nothing activated, so there's no clue here. I can either move this around and say, oh, I see what this is carrying, you know, or we can check here and see, okay, well, it has the iris deformer and also has the eyelashes right here. So if this doesn't tell you, then you can just move the deformer around and see what it carries, and basically tells you what you're dealing with. So this is the one I need. I need to flip this over to this side. What do? Select this deformer and copy, Control C, Control V. Now you can see it has been, well, you cannot see judging by the canvas because it would paste right on top of where it was, which means that you don't really, it's sort of a duplicated images stacked on top of each other, so you don't really confirm that, oh, has it been copied? Is it duplicated? And in order to do that, you can come here to the parts palette and have a look. What do we have here? Seems like we have double left eye deformer, and somehow the iris deformer, which should be under the eyeball section, it's now in the eye section, eye group. And also I'm seeing some of the objects are duplicated with the same name. Alright, so that's kind of the sort of first problem we have to tackle with, is that when you copy things over, they save the exact same name and everything. Alright, so yes, that's going to be the first problem. And first thing first, I think we move the deformer over from left to right. Left eye deformer, move it over like this around this area, or maybe probably here, whatever. So sort of like centering this eye with the eye behind it. Now right click and obviously reflect, and here, this is another tricky menu. Reflect settings. Reflect horizontally or vertically if you prefer, or both. And would you like to reflect the parameters? Now, here's the thing. As I reflect over, as I copied and reflect my deformer along with all its object, the first problem is that eyeball X has been set up, and what eyeball X does is moving the left and right eye toward the same direction. So if I shift this eyeball X to the left, both eyes should look to the left, right? However, as I reflect them and copy them, that eyeball X parameter is also reflected. Y is fine because I'm horizontally reflecting, right? But if I do it, if I do a vertical reflection, then Y has a problem with it. Otherwise, if I'm doing just a horizontal one, then eyeball X would have a problem with the next action I'll be taking. So here, select eyeball X, which doesn't, it's more like don't reflect parameters, or re-reflect parameters. That's what it's trying to do. So the words is kind of confusing right here. Anyhow, check this box, press OK, and well, somehow it moved me over there. I guess I'll move back again. Now check quickly. When you move the eyeball X, you will see all three irises are moving the same way. If you have not done it correctly, it would look cross-eye for this eye. All right, it would go the opposite direction. So that's been good. Now let's try to align the two eyes. Alright, so for better accuracy, you can always tap on arrow key. Then you can micro movement. If it's still too much for you, you can zoom in, and as you zoom in, every tab would move a shorter distance. So it gives you the micro control. And also another trick is that since that the eye behind you that you haven't done yet, the original right eye is already there, and it is accurate in terms of positioning because it is the original source material, the one that you screen cap from the anime. So that must be in the right position, and you want to make sure the new eye is completely right on top of the left eye, so you keep the correct positioning. What you can do is, as you are selecting the new deformer, try to turn down the opacity, and as you do that, all its child object, drawable objects, would turn down their opacity, and now you can see through. Now, as you can see, the first problem is that the highlights are reflected because the whole pupil is reflected. Now, yeah, that's something we have to fix because supposedly highlights, these two white dots here, are meant to be identical in terms of direction. So we got to do that later on, but first we need to align this piece. You can look at the edge of the iris to compare, because as you move around, you can see the half transparent shadow. If you see a shadow, then you're not on top of each other, right? You gotta move it just right, which both left and right you're not seeing any shadows. Or you can, if you're having a pretty good sight, you can check if align the center pupil. Actually, that's not a good idea. It's better if you align the eyelash and then move the pupil or the purple area afterwards. Alright, so let's try to take the eyelash as the main anchor first. I guess here it's good. Yes. And since we gotta work on the pupil anyways, yeah, let's not touch anything. Okay, so this is where danger comes in. Now you have duplicated objects. Everything here, deformers and drawable objects, are duplicated, and their names are really similar. So first you don't rename everything, or else it would look even more similar. So let's keep things that way. What we can do is try to select. I don't have any recommendation. I don't have any hints of how to do this, but let's check for the menu, select drawable object, and well, I guess one way to do it is to lock the real thing, lock the original one and unlock the new one. Alright, so let's go to the list here. Let's have a look. I already have the original right eye locked. It would be these guys and also the right eye deformer. And then I have to go to the eyeball group and I have to lock the iris deformer R and also the iris, eye white, and highlights R. All the R's are locked. And these locked L are, I think it's over there. So I'm not going to worry about them, but just in case, I'm going to unlock them. Turn them on. And perhaps we could start with moving things back to where it's supposed to be, because the iris deformer and also the iris drawable object, highlights, and also the mask. Wait, did I copy the mask over? Yes, I did. Okay. So you got like one deformer and 4 objects that I copied over. When I copied over, they are moved to they all moved into the same group. So now I have to regroup them into under eyeball. So now eyeball has 2 iris deformer L, which one is on the left side and one is on the right side. And also the objects are back where they're supposed to be. So, you know, start tidying things up. Okay, so we have locked the ones on the back. Now we can only select the ones in the front, so you won't select the wrong thing. And now we got the purple. If you really want to check, be really sure, move around. Is this a transparent one? Well, yes it is. So that's good. Okay, let's turn up the transparency back on, because we can start doing serious things. Turn it on, and alright. it seems like some of the original objects are on top of the new objects. The spotlights, they have a draw order quite high that is showing up, whereas some other objects are lower than the new one and they're not showing up. So that's what's happening. What we can do is select the new highlight and move it over. Maybe I'll reflect it. Yes, maybe I should reflect it. There you go. And move it over. And so is this one. Reflect. Now I run into a problem. This perimeter, oh, actually it should actually worked out. I was worried that if I reflect this, only the key point has been reflected, but not the other one. Apparently, it's smart enough to do the whole thing. So, yes, once you reflect them and move into the right position, that's all good. And for this iris pupil, it has to be reflected too, because you see this purple, light purple here, and that is unfortunately part of the overall iris. So currently, it's on the wrong side. I gotta reflect it over to reflect, horizontal, and maybe I will turn the angle. Okay, so now I want to rotate it a little bit because it looked like it a little bit slanted on the wrong side. But as I rotate for one key point on perimeter, the other one has not been done so. Anyhow, let's try to do that. The other one, I can also turn a little bit. Even though it's hidden, still gotta do it, because otherwise, when it morphs from the original shape to the blinking state, it would not go right. So it's important to work on it even though it's hidden. Seems like we got that. Now let's try to, I feel like I'm missing something. Yes, okay, so what's the problem right here? Currently we are using the IL open. Now which eye is it moving? Both. And that's a problem because this eye should be handled by the right eye open, and the other one is the left eye open. So currently, since we copy from this over to this one was originally set up with the IL open perimeter, and so is this one. So how do we do that? Now the well, not the last, but the next step is you want to select all the objects that has IL open. Alright, you want to do it one by one or do it all at once. I would say one by one for now. Go through the list of objects that are cloned over and see which one has the IL open activated. If you see them, right click anywhere on this perimeter, doesn't matter. It could be on the spot or on the bar or whatever. Just right click and press change. Now change allows you to transfer all the values over to another deformer parameter. So currently we need the IR open. Now once you click OK, IR open should be moving the thing. Obviously some objects are still not transferred over yet, and we gotta do them right now. So let's go to second spotlight, change it. IR open, I mean. There. Yes. And if you're really, really certain of what you're doing, you can select multiple objects and do them all at once. I think. I haven't tried this, but I think it does. Alright, so let's give it a try. Iris, the eye white mask, the upper eye, which one is it this one? No, it's this one. These? This one, and what is this? Oh, that's a closed eye. Okay, so Yes, let's do that. Let's select these all, and I'll select these two. And we don't need to touch deformer because deformers are not handling IL open. So let's select all these 5 objects and let's change them all at once. IR open. Now it seems like it's working. The reason why you're seeing double visions is because the original eye is moving along, which we should by now. It's a good time to delete them. So all these locked objects, let's go, you know what? Let's select the main deformer, the right eye deformer, who is the parent to the eyelashes and iris and eye white and whatever. Select the deformer and then go to deformer and click delete deformer and its content. Now you have to click through here or press Ctrl Delete. If you just press delete, you're only deleting deformer, but I want everything gone that belongs to deformer. And I press it, it should be all, what the? That's not, am I missing one? Oh, okay. Perhaps I'm missing a white mask. Right. Oh, so I've selected the wrong thing. Okay, so I'm going to change this back to IL because those are the legit L's, and the ones that should be changed are over here. Little mistake, no need to panic, and there you go. This side too. As you can see, this the eyelid line is not moving along because it doesn't belong to the deformer, which I haven't done yet. Which I simply can select the object, unlock the browse. It is this object, and as the eyes closes down, which is the IR open. Is it a 3-point thing or a 2-point thing? It's a 3-point thing. 3 points, and this should go down here. As it moves towards the end, it should go all the way down here. Now I'm also moving this side to check if it's horizontal. It gives me sort of like a marking of how low it should drop. So that seems okay. Alright, so there you go. We have reflected things. You might also work them for the eyebrows, but eyebrows are pretty simple, so I usually don't do them. Ears pretty simple. Most other cases you don't need to reflect, and reflect is always a dangerous thing to do. So, except for the eyes, I would say don't bother with it. I mean, just, you know, it's not too much work for anything else. Anyhow, that is how I reflect things. I think I'm done with the eyes. The next part I will work on the mouth and the nose. Okay? And I'll see you guys next episode.